recently, or maybe you are several years postpartum. I'm 6 years postpartum. You could be 8 years postpartum or longer, and maybe still feel like you look pregnant. Also, if somebody is watching, guys, give me a quick sound check. Okay. But what I want to go over today is 6 reasons why you may still look pregnant and what we can do about it. Because here's the thing, normal bodies take time to heal postpartum. Okay, so if you had a baby a while ago, like I said, and you still look pregnant, there could be a few underlying reasons to this. It's not just about weight. The weight is not necessarily a problem, right? So what I'm going to do is go through the most common one, but I also have 5 other ones that I want to give you and talk through and coach you through today, just to give you some hope for healing and feeling body confident, okay? Every one of you deserves to feel good in your body, and we can all achieve that. So let's dive through the most common one. But before I get there, I did want to start with a friendly reminder, and by saying, be kind to yourself. I'm going to use this disclaimer. There is so much in our media about bounce back culture. There's so much in mainstream fitness targeting women and the way our bodies look, and using shame and fear to push us to make changes or to do things that might be drastic, like go on diets or to do extreme fitness or try to get rid of certain aspects of the way we look. But the thing is this, being kind to yourself is the only way that you are ever going to make any changes that you do want to make to your health, or maybe you do want to make physical changes, and that is okay. Female bodies are absolutely incredible. And one of the mindset shifts and reminders I made the other day in the Ab Rehab Challenge group was that keep in mind that your body is showing up for you every single day with all of its strength. And it's so key for us to acknowledge that and honor that. Your body right now, the way it is right now, is showing up for you in such a big and powerful way to get you through the day, to be there with your kids, to get you to work. I mean, there's just so much that we can end up taking for granted when we get swept up in bounce back culture, diet culture, mainstream fitness, and trying to just lose that postpartum belly, right? So let's be kind to ourselves and not approach it with such aggression. Okay. So the first one that I want to talk about is diastasis recti. And you guys have heard me, if you've been in the Ab Rehab Challenge, if you've done any of my Ab Rehab coaching, you know that we've talked about this. But one of the most common reasons to still look pregnant after having a baby is diastasis recti. So this is the thinning of the linea alba, which is this connective tissue right here that runs in between your rectus abdominis muscles, which are your six-pack muscles. These are the surface layer muscles. They're superficial muscles at the front of your abdomen. Okay? So during pregnancy, that linea alba, that tissue widens because of the growing baby. It's got to make space. Your body is meant to do this. After baby arrives, this connective tissue doesn't always just snap back, right? Think of this tissue like an overstretched hair tie that has lost some elasticity, okay? And so what happens is this thinned tissue, and in combination with your weakened deep abdominal system, which is your transverse abdominis, so not the six-pack, but behind that, where you have that corset of muscles, this makes it so that your organs are not really held in as tightly. You've got core weakness and you've got loose connective tissue, and so your organs are not being held in as tightly, and everything's kind of sagging forward, right? Again, kind of try to imagine that overstretched hair tie, that overstretched rubber band, and it just doesn't go back, okay? And this separation can leave your stomach looking even months, still looking pregnant, even months or years after delivery. Oh, you can't hear very well.
Is this better if I unplug this microphone? Sometimes this thing doesn't work great. But give me a thumbs up if that's better. I'll try to, hopefully that made the shift. Okay, so with diastasis, here's the good news. You can absolutely close the gap, re-strengthen that connective tissue, okay, with Diastasis Recti specific exercises. And here's the thing, we see lots of abdominal exercises, core exercises on Pinterest or TikTok or wherever you find stuff, okay? Crunches and sit-ups and bicycles and all that stuff. But those are not going to help you. And in fact, they can actually make it worse. So ab rehab is packed with Diastasis Recti specific exercises to help support your healing. And that's really important to have those at this phase of retraining your core and reconnecting those connective tissues and regaining the strength in that muscle layer. This is Kara, and she participated in ab rehab, and this is what she had to say. She said, I've participated in ab rehab program and was really surprised with the results. I learned how to engage my core and built strength along the way. I'd recommend it to anyone needing to learn how to reconnect to their core. One of the things that she had said too, you know, in her results was she felt like she had like a tummy lift, you know, and this is really common. So if you look at the picture, you can tell like her stomach is actually being lifted or pulled back up. And that is a direct result from ab rehab when we are healing that connective tissue and then learning how to strengthen the transverse abdominis, the muscle fibers in your deep inner core. It's going to pull everything back together. Again, thinking about that rubber band and its elasticity, we want it to be able to tighten back up and go back to its normal shape. That's what's going to happen. Okay, so let's say you do not have diastasis recti. You've checked and your linea alba feels maybe shallow and it's tight. You have less than like 2-finger width gap in between your abdominal muscles, but you still look pregnant. So what could possibly be going on? Well, if you've checked and you don't have that separation, or you've been checked by a physical therapist, you know, pelvic floor physical therapist, what this means is, one, you have good integrity of that connective tissue, which is a really positive thing, and you don't have any significant separation. But if you're still feeling like you have like a baby bump and you know you're not pregnant, let's look at 5 other things that could be causing this problem. So let's explore these things now. We've got the first one being a pressure imbalance. So you'll see in this video, the breath at work. Your core is a pressure system, and how you breathe affects both your core and your pelvic floor, okay? As you breathe in on the inhale, the diaphragm flattens, gently pushing air down into the lungs, and your pelvic floor relaxes on the inhale. See how it pushes down, it relaxes. As you exhale, the diaphragm recoils and then the pelvic floor gently lifts. So as you exhale, everything's pulling back in. Look at the pelvic floor pulling up. And you can see that happening here in the video. It's pulling, pelvic floor pulls up during the exhale, core pulls in. All of this working together, okay? If you have a belly pooch, you may find yourself sucking your tummy in and gripping your abs to try and hide it, right? If you feel self-conscious about it, if you feel like you're uncomfortable with the way that it looks and you're trying to suck it in and you're kind of gripping your abs, this is going to put a kink right in that pressure system and essentially cause you to breathe backwards. So you're messing up the whole system, right? You're going to end up breathing up into your chest. And this is what's happening when we breathe backwards. Think of your core like this balloon. When you're sucking in at the belly button, right? It's like pressing into the middle of that blown up balloon. The air gets displaced. Look how it goes up and it goes down, okay? Your core works the same way. That core pressure has to go somewhere, so it gets redistributed. So when you're sucking in, right, air goes up into the chest, which can create a lot of tension in your neck and your shoulders, which can create headaches, and it can also create anxiety from not breathing properly, which can create stress and release cortisol, which makes you hold on to fat. Okay, so a lot of chain reaction things happening, but then it also pushes down. Look at how it pushes down into your lower abdomen and pelvic floor, which then creates dysfunction. We can end up having leaking. We see that lower belly pooch that sticks out, and we have more dysfunction in our pelvic floor. It's seriously a vicious cycle, and the whole, you know, system just kind of gets thrown off. So here's the thing. If this sounds like you, right, pressure imbalance, postpartum exercises that are focused on healing diastasis recti will also help you learn to manage your intra-abdominal pressure. So even if you don't have the diastasis, still following that protocol is going to help you manage your intra-abdominal pressure and fix that problem. Okay, we want to breathe properly. It's really important. Okay, so the third thing is poor posture. We talked about this in the ab rehab challenge if you've been following along in there. But during pregnancy, your center of gravity shifts. Okay, and then with that shift, you may lose touch with your core. Everything's out of whack. Okay, but your body is doing what it is built to do. But then postpartum, you are carrying kids and all of their stuff, and you're hunched over while feeding, or you're back to work at a desk all day, and you're generally trying to compensate for weaknesses. That becomes your new normal. And it's really easy to fall into poor posture habits postpartum, right? And then because it's easy and we're so busy and we don't stop to kind of be aware and take time to correct it, it just compounds and it just gets worse and worse and worse. So these postural compensations have a direct impact on the appearance and the function of your tummy. Look at how you stand. Look at number 3 in this picture, right? Check your own form when you're standing from the side. Do you arch your back like this and maybe have your butt kind of sticking out? This is called an anterior pelvic tilt or club butt, right? So if you're like going clubbing and you're dancing, or look at number 2 for particular, right? If you have a posterior tilt, that means that you are gripping and tucking your butt under forward, okay? And this actually pushes your belly out. So the goal is neither of these, obviously. These are all poor posture examples. What you want to do is align your rib cage over your pelvis. This is what helps us to create a neutral spine, and this will automatically pull your belly back in, okay? The posture work is critical. Working in ab rehab in the course is gonna help you find good alignment. It's gonna not just help you find good alignment, right? Good posture is not just, oh, she's talking about posture, I better straighten up and pull my shoulders back. You have to have the strength, the muscle structure to be able to stay in that position, to be able to stay aligned throughout the day, throughout your workout, throughout whatever it is that you're doing, okay? And in the ab rehab course, I will help you find good alignment, but also develop the strength to hold your body in good alignment throughout the day. Diane, this is one of my clients, Diane, and I was shocked when we took these photos and kind of measured up her posture when she first started working with me. She had no idea that she was leaning this far. And that her hips were out of balance, her pelvis was out of balance. She had one hip that was hurting, her back was hurting. And then as we worked through ab rehab, you can see how she started to build the strength and she started to build the awareness and started to be more mindful and intentional with her posture throughout the day to really leveling out. And this isn't even, this was July through December of last year. And you should see her now. I mean, she's got way more muscle tone and her posture is really incredible. So small shifts make a huge difference, and this will make a big difference in your appearance as well. Okay, so the fourth one, extra adipose tissue. So here's the thing. Female bodies tend to store excess fat in the abdominal area, and this is especially common postpartum during breastfeeding because our bodies need to hold on to extra calories to produce milk, right? There's no I'm sorry, but there is no trick or tip or fat burning foods or, you know, whatever, apple cider vinegar concoctions, nothing that is going to reduce lower belly fat. Okay. You're not going to spot reduce this. This one is how your body is beautifully designed. You are meant to have that fat there. It serves many positive and healthy purposes. But also, the other thing to consider is as a female, you are the proud owner of a uterus, which can also make your lower tummy a little more pronounced, okay? Especially right before your period. Before menstruation, you get some swelling down there, and that's totally normal. It's not going to be something that happens, it's not going to be there all the time. And one of the things that can be a big help is eating nourishing food, moving your body when you can, and getting sleep when possible. All of these things can help your body feel and look so much better. Number 5, loose skin. Okay, so loose skin tends to hang in the lower portion of our belly, especially if you've had a C-section, right? I've had a C-section. I also had another major abdominal surgery, and it's so crazy. Like on my stomach, I have a big vertical scar, and then right at the bottom, it goes like my vertical scar, it starts above the belly button and goes all the way down to my C-section scar. So I've got this crazy little T, and like where those scars start to come together, there's definitely this little shelf of skin that just hangs out there from where things were pulled and cut, right? And I think it's really important to remind yourself that your body created life, and that's pretty epic, right? Something that you can do. I mean, unfortunately, there's not much that you can do to get rid of loose skin, right? But one thing that you can do is start to shift your mindset around how you feel about your body and certain parts of your body. One thing that I have done is when I start to have bad body image days is sometimes I will look at pictures of my daughter when she was an infant and little videos of her from when she was small. And it just takes me back to that initial deep connection of love that I have for her and how incredibly empowering it is to be a mom and what a blessing it is to be a mom. And that reminds me to take some of that love and give it to myself, right? And I want you to be able to do the same. Loving our bodies is not always easy. And it does take some work. It's a relationship, just like any relationship you have with your partner, with your kids, with your friends. Like relationships take work. And so it's not like you're going to wake up one day and just like love yourself and love the skin that you're in, and it's going to stay that way forever. We're constantly working on that relationship that we have with ourselves. Okay, the last one that I wanted to cover today, and if any of these are resonating with you, please just drop the number and let me know, or drop some comments, let me know if you can. I don't know if you guys can even hear me. Angie mentioned that the sound wasn't very good, so hopefully you can still hear me, but this is the last one I want to cover. Bloating, digestive issues, or what we call endo belly, and I'm going to explain this. Okay, so bloating. This can be caused by many different things, anything from where you are in your cycle to how much salt you've had for today to digestive system issues, right? I mean, there's just a number of things that can contribute to bloating. And I do have some other trainings on digestive issues and gut health specifically. So if that is something that you're interested in kind of taking the next step and learning more about, make sure you comment, tag me, hey, Morgan, I want the coachings on gut health, and I'll send them to you, tag you on them so you can find them, okay? But going back to bloating. So if you have diastasis recti, you are more prone to show bloating quicker because your deep abdominal muscles are not holding your insides in as tightly. Okay, everything's loose in there. And so, yeah, when you're experiencing bloating from food or whatever else may be going on, everything's going to push forward more easily. Because if you have undigested food or maybe water retention, your belly may push out on those stretched connective tissues, and it's going to be more prominent. So that's one thing to consider. But the other thing is rebuilding your core, improving your posture, learning proper breathing techniques and strategies, and keeping your GI system running smoothly can improve swelling and bloating symptoms dramatically. And inside the ab rehab course, you're also going to have access to nutritional resources to help you with this. Plus, once you're a member of the course, you also have other coaching support and resources for myself as well. And we can troubleshoot these things together. But I always say, and this is really true for digestive stuff as well, but I always say if you're in pain and if you're dealing with ongoing digestive issues, or you feel like something just isn't right, it probably isn't. Okay. And so listen to that inner voice, that sort of, tug saying like, I'm just not feeling really good. Like, I don't think I should push through this, and advocate for yourself. Advocate by reaching out to an appropriate medical professional for support and to kind of figure out what's going on. Okay. Healing takes time. Postpartum bodies need time. Remember that it is 100% normal to still look a little bit pregnant after having a baby. And whether you have an abdominal separation or you need to relearn how to manage your core pressure or work on your posture, it takes time to heal and to feel strong again. But it is possible. It is possible for you. It was possible for me. I have done it multiple times, not just after my pregnancy, but I've used ab rehab after 5 different spinal surgeries in terms of recovery. And it's been possible for hundreds of other moms that I've worked with in this program. If you are feeling that pull, if you're feeling ready to kind of take the overwhelm out of recovery, I'm inviting you to enroll in the ab rehab course. It is open right now for enrollment, but I'm going to be closing the doors on May 21st. And once you're in the course, I'll be providing coaching, intentional programming, and an incredibly supportive and empowering community to support you and your fitness goals in a very sustainable way. I love what Ellen said about ab rehab. She says, I love how short the workouts are, able to fit them in even on those extra busy days. I have felt such a difference in my core muscles too. The closing the canister model that Coach Morgan talks about is a constant reminder during my runs, and it feels so supportive. So Ellen is a runner. She loves to run. It's great for her mental health and it's great for her physical health. And she was experiencing some pain and leaking, and it just wasn't feeling as confident in her runs as she was, before pregnancy. And so ab rehab was able to give that back to her. And now she has the strength and the tools and resources and is empowered to continue using those things moving forward. I've also had several nurses, registered nurses, physical therapists go through the course as well, all as moms. And Nicole, a registered nurse, says Morgan's ab rehab program is amazing. It teaches us how to take back our bodies after pregnancy with education and gentle movements without high intensity impact. I'm only a month in and I've already lost 3 inches from my hips and 1 inch from my abdomen. I love how easy it is to follow the program and achieve results. And this is the thing. My goal is to simplify wellness, and it's our lives are already packed and busy. And I understand that the women who, if you feel that pull, that tug to want to improve your fitness, to want to regain your body confidence, to build strength, and it all feels really overwhelming and hard. And what we're presented with in traditional mainstream fitness and diet culture is all in, all or nothing, give 110% and get this specific result. But then afterwards, you're so broken or burnt out that you can't keep up with it and it's not sustainable. My expectation is I understand that you have a life. You do not live inside of a bubble. You have other people who rely on you, who need you, and are drawing from your energy as well. My job is to be the person pouring into you so that you can then in turn show up for them in a very powerful and fierce way. And with that in mind, I design all of my coaching, workouts, programming for moms so that it feels approachable and accessible. All right. And that's really important to me, that it feels like something that you can look forward to doing. If it's something that you dread and you're constantly thinking in your mind already, I don't have time for this. I don't have time for a 30. I have to set everything up. I have to get all this stuff out. Oh, and then the kids are going to interrupt me. It's a no-go. And everything else will become the priority first. And that's how you've gotten to where you are. If everything else is too hard, as in whatever fitness you've tried, whatever diet you've tried, whatever methods you've tried, you're never going to stick to it. Which is why the moms in my program always say they love how easy it is, how short the workouts are, they can fit it in on extra busy days. That's really important to me. And I make sure that that's going to be accessible to you too. I'll close enrollment on May 21st. So if you, like I said, if you've been feeling that pull to prioritize your health and your fitness, here's your sign, okay? You can reach out to me if you have questions, or if maybe you just want some reassurance that this is actually going to be a good fit for you, because I understand that it may be an investment that you're making in yourself. Or if you're just like, I'm ready, I've been going through the ab rehab challenge, or this has been on my heart, on my mind, like wanting to make these changes for a long time. This is it. I'm ready to go. Then go ahead and click the link and get yourself signed up. The link is in the description. Today's live. If you can't find it, all you got to do is tag me, and we'll get you set up, and you'll be able to join me and a very supportive, empowering cohort of moms ready to build strength and own body confidence right alongside you. Okay, that's all I have for us today, ladies. Thank you so much for joining me here live, or if you're catching the replay, I really appreciate you taking the time to check in with me, and I'll see you in ab rehab very soon. Bye.